Hey, everybody, welcome to Money and Change. I know it's Super Bowl Sunday, but we have a lot of stuff to talk about. Boy, do we. Hey, welcome to Money and Change right here on the Trim Radio Network, better known as trimradio.com. And before we do anything, you know the drill. We have to do the disclaimer. The information contained in this presented material is from the posting of news agencies on the internet and are not necessarily the views or opinions of the owners of this program. Nothing in this show should be considered legal, medical, financial, or investment advice. You should always do your own research and consult with professionals. We are not responsible for and expressly disclaim all liability for damages of any kind arising out of use, reference to, or reliance on any information contained in this broadcast. Now that we're done with that, we can get on with the show. Hey, have you been following this stuff on Doge, Doge? Wow. A lot of stuff is starting to come out on it, and I'm going to go over some of that that's being posted around the internet, plus other places. I mean, I've got some concerns about how our money's being spent. Where's the money going? Who's getting paid? Who's getting paid under the table? We'll take a look at some of that tonight. We've got some other stuff that we have to do too. So before we do anything, you know what the drill is. We have to go ahead and take a look at, well, Trim Radio and talk about it. And let's see if I have that. I might be in the wrong page. Let's see. Oh, no. Here we are. Gee, I think I was divulging some of my secrets there. Well, anyhow, guys, check out the Trim Radio Network. We've got a lot of stuff going on. We've got a venture awaits around the bend. We've got Ranch It Up with Tigger and Beck. We've got Life Walk with Christ God with Michael Bayhas. We've got Money and Change, of course, every Sunday night, 7 p.m. And of course, we're on Rumble, we're on YouTube, and we're also on Spotify. So you want to check that out. Also, we have Offsides, College Football, Top 25. We've got My World, Live, Laugh, and Whatever every Wednesday live at 8 p.m. And on that one show, we can talk and do anything that we want, well, within reason. You know what I mean? But we can do anything, talk about anything we want. We also have a chat room, and you could also get into the chat room and chat with us. And we also have the Positude podcast. That's a good show. That is a good one. You want to check that one out. Also, we have Rascala Steffens' Red Pill reality show. And for the love of Murgatroyd, he keeps saying you can either take the red pill or the blue pill, but come on, Risk. I want the green pill. Green. Can you get it, please? Well, I'll have to talk to Riscala to see what he can do on that. He only lives about, 5 hours away from me, 4.5 hours away from me. But I'm not going up to Lake Erie. It's too cold up there. And we've got Victoria Smith with the Natural Marketer podcast. If you're interested in marketing your business, check her out. Okay, check out her podcast. She does a fantastic job with the Trim Radio Network, and she's super. She really is. So you want to check her out. Well, let's say you want to do your own show. Well, guess what? All you have to do is, even if you have a question about any new shows coming along, or how can I donate? How can I buy the merchandise? Or as Michael says, Michael Bayhas, he always says, buy the merch, buy the merch. All you have to do is go over here where the magic pointer is. And it says, hi there, thanks for visiting Trim Radio Network. How can I help you today? Click on it. I just did. And it says, enter your question below and a representative will get right back to you. And you put down your name, your phone number. You can use your home phone, cell phone. Okay. Put down your message. And you can put down, hey, I want to do my own show on money, or not on Money and Change. That's my show, not yours. The Trim Radio Network. All you have to do is put that down and give a description of the show that you want to do. How can I get on the air? Okay, what equipment do I need? And just go ahead and hit the send button. And then you'll have a reply. Really, it's a canned reply. You know what I mean? It's an instantaneous reply. Hi, somebody's going to get back to you. More than likely, it's going to be tomorrow, or it could be tonight. You don't know. But somebody will get back with you and answer all your questions. Okay? That's all you have to do. It's very simple. I mean, if I can do it, anybody can do it. Okay? How do you support us? Well, guess what? You can contribute or buy the merchandise. So if you want to contribute, bingo. Well, it's loading. There it is. You can do one-time or monthly donation or a yearly donation. Just put in the dollar amount, donate with PayPal or a credit card, and send it. You'll send the money, because that money that comes in doesn't go to us. It goes to pay for airtime, and airtime is expensive. It ain't cheap, kiddos. But if you want to really help us out, buy the merchandise. You can get the Take All 15, Take Point 22 red, blue color morphing mug. Put something in there, it changes color. On Air Trim Radio 11-ounce black mug. You've got the Trim Radio On Air Unisex Ultra Cotton Tee shirt. You've got the mouse pad. You've got the clock. You've got the custom pin. We cut the bowl. And we've got the Trim Radio Network tumbler. We've got, oh, this is a good one. The Trim Radio Network 22-ounce vacuum insulated bottle. Put something in there cold, it stays cold. Put something in there hot, it stays hot. You know, it's a good thing to have. And you can also, airtime fees. You can make a deposit on your airtime fees. And that's all you do. Just buy the merchandise, okay? And gee, I wish I could get a morphing mug. You know, one that would be maybe white or red, and you put stuff in it, and it turns it black with a green $1,000 bill on it. I don't know whose picture we'd put on there. Maybe we can put Rascala's picture, or Victoria's, or maybe Michael Bejas, or nah, I don't want my picture on there. No, it'd break the mug. Anyhow, guys, that's all you have to do. If you want to listen to some of our shows, you can listen now on the live stream. You can go and click on past episodes, because they'll be there. You can partner with us. Hey, we're there. And like I said, YouTube and Facebook and X and Instagram, we're there. And so all you have to do is just check us out, please. Okay. And if you feel like buying some merchandise, do that. It helps keep us on the air, because this stuff isn't cheap. I'll tell you that right now. Well, hey, what about Money and Change? Oh, do we have a lot of stuff? See, this is our Facebook page. And you can see that right there. Just look for the dollar bills and the gold, the coins. And you can also see some of the members in our group. If you want to join, just send us a notification and we'll go ahead and invite you into the group. And I've got people from Myanmar, which used to be Burma. I've got people from South Africa, India, other parts of Africa, Europe, North and South America, every place but, gee whiz, Iceland. I haven't got anything from Iceland yet. Well, anyhow, check us out. And you can go and check out our postings that I put up there. Just before the show, I put up our shout outs. And of course, a big shout out to the Trim Radio Network for carrying the show. And it's a great bunch of people to work with, I'll tell you. Also, check out the University of Findlay at www.findlay and your journey begins there. And you can do a visit to campus, you can apply, you can find out more about that campus. And I'll tell you what, it's a good small campus. That's the main campus. And then you also have two branch campuses within the same city, the city of Findlay, Ohio, which is an all American city. If you go up to Findlay, you can go to the hazardous materials campus, or you can go to the equestrian campus, and they do pre-veterinary studies there and equestrian studies. That's horses. And then you can go to the main campus, and there's a picture of Old Main, which is the old classroom building, which is the original building there. And you have most of your classes not only in that building, but several others, whether it's um, nursing, pre-med, pharmacy, education, business, science. They have a lot of courses. And I'll tell you what, they're all very good, meaningful degrees. They want to get you into the workforce. So they're going to prepare you the best. Now, I'll tell you what, you can see at the bottom there, it says Ohio's 10 most affordable colleges. Well, that's the University of Findlay. And 19 consecutive years is one of the best colleges in the United States. And one of the best colleges in America, according to Money Magazine in 2024. So they've always had a good standing. So check them out. The University of Findlay, www.findlay.edu. And I'll tell you what, Dr. Kathy Fell is the president there, and she does a phenomenal job. She has a really good staff, fantastic professors that really want to help the students. And then they also have students from all over the world go there. And it's amazing. It really is. Yeah, I just went up there last week. I told you about the basketball game. And I'll be headed back up there again for another basketball game here, I believe, in 2 weeks. And I want to get up there and watch them play Hillsdale College. And Hillsdale's in Michigan. That's my other favorite small school. And I've never gone to school there, but I've read a lot about it. I visited the campus several times. And it's located in Hillsdale, Michigan. And it's basically the same type of background that the University of Findlay is. It's kind of a conservative school, but very good professors. You have to check it out, okay? Well, what else is going on? Oh, yeah. We've got other people to talk about because I have to do their shout outs too, because if I don't, I'm in trouble. Rusty Ducks Custom Pens and Blanks. I put their link here. All you have to do is click on that link. Guess what? It's coming up. There it is. Rusty Ducks Custom Pens and Blanks. And he does a very good job with his custom pens. Now, the blanks are in the center section of the pens, and he'll make those for you to your design and then send them to you. If you want to get a hold of them, just click on the message section, and you can do that. I mean, he does a lot of very good pens. The ones here in the center of the Second Amendment pens, he has two different designs on those, and they have a neat mechanism to send the ballpoint out so you can go ahead and, write with it. Can't shoot it, but you can write with it. But they have all kinds of stuff. You take a look at some of the photos and stuff that he does. Okay, he's there. He does a lot of different things. He even makes pizza wheel cutters, all kinds of stuff. But you can see all of his pens, all his gardens in there too. He's proud of his garden. Boy, does he has a green thumb. I don't. I think all my green thumb is plastic plants, I guess. But anyhow, you can see some of the stuff that he's done. And he's done a very, very, very good job. Okay. You just look at it. It's there. Quite a phenomenal, phenomenal master craftsman. He does a great job. And the pens that come out of there are, oh, they're fantastic. They really are. Michael Bayhouse and I both have them. And I'll tell you what, they're good. They're good pens, good cross pen platforms. Well, let's see. We've got the Big Family Homestead with Brad and Krista. Let's see what we've got here. Oh, there's their page. And there's Brad and Krista. And I've known them for quite a while. And they're good people, good people. And they talk about a lot of different things. You can see all their videos here. I don't especially want to watch a goat give birth, but oh, they do all kinds of stuff. They'll probably shoot me for showing that. But anyhow, that's the way it goes. Let's see here. What else we've got? We've got Pecan Grove with Danny and Wanda King. There's Danny and Wanda. And good people down in Wiggins, Mississippi. And you can just go ahead and take a look at their location at Pecan Grove and watch some of their videos. They're really good videos, trust me. Okay, we've got, the LDS prepper, Dave Gilmore. And you know, I talk about GMRS radios every show I do, no matter whether it's Money and Change or whether it's My World, because I believe in them. I mean, they are good little radios. And for $35 for a 10-year license from the FCC, and anybody in your family can use those radios as long as they behave themselves. And like I always say, you know, it depends on the angle that I hold this thing, but I think it's like there. And that's a Ocean. It's WOUXUN 935G plus radio, and it's a Nagoya antenna, and it's a 771G antenna. You couple those together, and I can sit here in my studio or out on my patio, and I can talk to somebody in Dayton, Ohio, 35 miles away. I really can. And if I want, I can talk to somebody to the north of me because I can hit several repeaters there. It's great. And if there's an emergency and the power goes out, you can run these on battery power, AA batteries. But the good thing is that if power goes out, the cell phones go out and so forth, these radios will work. So your family members can contact you. If you have like 5 family members here in town, each one has a radio, they can contact you. So always keep in touch, okay? See, I'm not saying okay as much as I did before. I'm trying to break myself of that habit. But check out Dave Gilmore. And just to show you what he's got, I'm not going to go ahead and play it.
Feeling my...
No, I'm not going to feel. No, that's a, I hate that. They always put commercials in there, and I don't have a chance to get to where I need. But anyhow, Dave talks about a lot of different things, and here's one.
You're going to love this interview. This is a fantastic, informative interview with a good friend of mine, and their 9 households that they have on their family radio network that spans 42 miles, and they're doing this all with a handheld radio, and some of them have an external antenna. If you're looking for a video that's going to cover how you can set up an emergency communications network affordably, span a great distance, and how to make it work, and how to find out what doesn't work, this is the video for you.
Aha! Now you know what David Gilmore looks like. Yep. And he's very knowledgeable. He has several, he has over 600 videos on different things, just not radios and communications. And for example, here's the next one. Now, I watched this one.
If you want to build a reliable radio network that is not dependent on cell phone powers, so you can have emergency communications with your family, stay tuned, because I'm going to show you the 4 items that you need to make that happen. This is David Gilmore, known as LDS Prepper, and to watch over 600 videos on emergency preparedness and living off-grid, water filtration, growing food as if your life depends on it, heirloom seeds, herbal remedies, and emergency radio communications, go to ldsprepper.com and start watching those videos. Kelly.
Kelly, I'm Kelly. I'm Kelly. Okay, all right.
That's the GMRS radios. Those ladies set up a contact group, and they all live within the area. And it's interesting to watch to see what they're doing. She's talking on her cell phone right now, but they were also inviting David to come over and show how to do GMRS radios. And it's a good deal. Also, we've got Southern Prepper 1 with Dave Kobler. Oh, there's Dave. He's outside in the cool weather out in North or South Carolina. He's almost in North Carolina. He could probably spit over the mountain and reach it. Okay. But that's David Kobler. He has his own show, and he's good. He really is. So you want to check him out. Also, Patriot Nurse. Boy, she had something on today, how to tell when you're sick. Yep. Get help now. And I watched that today. You want to check that one out. Okay, 5 warning signs you should know when you need to get help. You can subscribe, it's free. And she has a lot of videos, and she talks about a lot of things about prepping and taking action and all kinds of things. Trust me, she's good. She really is. She was a nurse. Her nursing background goes way back. And she was a trauma nurse, a psychiatric nurse, ER nurse. I mean, she has a really good background, and so you want to check out her videos. Really, really, really strongly suggest you do that. Also, Prepper Princess Amber Stork. Oh no, that's another video. Daggone it, I hate that. They always put these travel videos and everything else in. Let's see if I can get Amber on there. There she is.
What's going on, YouTube? I am Prepper Princess, the author of Living on Almost Nothing. If you are interested in purchasing my book, I will go ahead and leave a link down in the description box below.
Aha, that's Amber Stork. And you can check her out at Prepper Princess. And she talks a lot about how to save money, how to live frugally. I mean, this lady is fantastic. So you really have to check her out, okay? And the last one in the collection is Max. The Max, M-A-C apostrophe S. And his name is Colby. And let's see if there he is. That's Colby right there. And he does a lot of different videos on a lot of different topics. And he's been talking lately about some of the things going on with Doge and budgeting, what's happening to eggs and animals and all kinds of things. So you really have to check him out. Wow, I have to do a couple of things here, a little housekeeping. I have to shrink the screen down to get back to where I needed to be because I had so much stuff. You know, you gather so much stuff over the years, and what you need to do is to spend some time and go back and clean house. Boy, I need to clean house. So much so, I was doing some of that today. Oh man, it's amazing how much stuff that you accumulate over the years and how many GMRS radios you accumulate too. Oh, I do have a bunch. And the reason why I have a bunch of GMRS radios is in an emergency. If the grid goes down and I need to communicate with different people, I have those radios. They come in handy. Don't get the bubble pack radios at Wally World, if you know what I mean, or Costco. You can get some good ones. Midland makes some. Ocean makes some. TID Radio, a lot of different places. Basically, I get mine, and I'm not really hyping it, but I get mine at buytwowayradios.com. And I also watch Not Rubicon. Now, this guy's a little eccentric, but he talks a lot about GMRS radios and ham radios too, but he mainly talks about GMRS radios. But Randy's a good guy. If he wasn't, I wouldn't watch him. He's a little eccentric though. Hey, there was this big thing about the Food and Drug Administration, the FDA, issued a recall for 60 baked products, including a variety of donuts, over concerns of potential listeria contamination. So you want to watch this, okay? Here we go.
Sign up for email alerts from Stop Foodborne Illness, which is the organization that I work for, which helps people who've been impacted by a severe foodborne illness.
It's called food poisoning.
Really dig through your pantry and dig through the back of your freezer to find those items and make sure that you discard them. Find out if the grocery store that you shop at has an opt-in program where they can contact you in case there is a recall. Just because spinach has been recalled and it's in your fridge doesn't mean you have to throw away all of your veggies.
Yeah. Well, anyhow, this is what's going on. Class 2 classification says while the recall was initially issued on January 7th, it was upgraded to Class 2 on Wednesday. Class 2 is defined as a situation in which use of or exposure to a volatile product may cause temporary or medically reversible adverse health conditions, or where the probability of serious adverse health consequences is remote. In other words, you're going to get sick. Now, they're talking about listeria. And listeriosis or listeria poisoning is a foodborne bacterial infection most commonly caused by the bacteria Listeria monocytogenes, according to the Centers of Disease Control and Prevention. It's considered a serious condition and can be dangerous or life-threatening, especially to old people. Never call an old person old. I wonder if that applies to me. Well, anyhow, listeria is the third leading cause of death from foodborne illness in the U.S. Now, the symptoms on listeria can be fever, muscle aches, headache, stiff neck, confusion. I wonder if confusion is what they've got in DC. Well, anyhow, then they have loss of balance, convulsions, diarrhea, or other gastrointestinal symptoms. Miscarriage, stillbirth, premature delivery, and or life-threatening infection of newborn infants, and of course, death. Of course, if you have a bad case of diarrhea and vomiting, sometimes you think you're going to die. I've had not listeria, but I've had salmonella, and I want to tell you something, that can be nasty. So they are saying that, hey, there's some stuff out there that you have to watch out for as far as foodborne illness. And one of the things that they brought up, and I can't find it on here, was something about Dunkin' Donuts, some of the products that they had. I don't know. You want to check it out and check where the foodborne illnesses are. Okay, but here's the one article that says FDA recalls more than 2 million baked goods, including Dunkin' Donuts. And it takes you right over there, but it doesn't say what products or anything. A full list of products can be found on FDA's website. Let's click on that because I don't want to mislead anybody here. Listeria is not a good thing to have. Let's see if it comes up. We could be here all night. Well, what do we have? Cake donut rings. And we have chocolate donut rings. Yeast ring donuts. Apple fritters. Raspberry filled donuts. I love those things. Then Bavarian filled. I love those too. And it goes on down, plain cake and so forth. So this is where the listeria is at. And it tells you the caseload and so forth. So that you just go to accessdata.fda.gov. Okay, just check them out. That's my, what would we call that? Community service announcement. Yeah. Hey, you take a look at the dead clock, and I really won't get into this that much, and there's a reason for it. If I could shrink this down just a little bit. Right here is the Doge clock. Now, I tried to click on that and to find out how much and where they're getting the money, but it's just giving a running total. And so far, it is 76,656,000,000. Now it's up to 800,000 and climbing dollars. And some of the things that I watched this week, and they were talking about the money that they were finding, had already been spent, but it was like people getting money, or countries getting money, or institutions getting money. And gee, that's taxpayer money that we didn't know that they were getting. And the question that I have, if you're paying things out through USAID, are there any kickbacks? That's what makes me think there's some crazy things going on. Okay, follow the money. Well, anyhow, how USAID and its $50 billion budget became a target for reform. And this was in Epic Times with Lawrence Wilson writing it. He said that the U.S. Agency for International Development, USAID, was a little noticed federal agency until it suddenly became an object of a fierce political battle. And we know that's been going on here for the last week. But when the Trump administration closed the agency's office on February 3rd and later placed most employees on administrative leave, USAID took center stage in a drama unfolding at both ends of Pennsylvania Avenue. Well, many observers feared that USAID's true purpose to advance U.S. interests through the use of soft power may be overlooked. Well, they provided a little bit more than that. And some of it was in the form of MONEY. And they had it for different things. Well, anyhow, Musk says Doge, Treasury agree on a new anti-fraud measure on how to claw back $50 billion in payment fraud. That's from Tom Ozimek from the Epic Times. And Elon Musk said Saturday that the Department of Governmental Efficiency, or Doge, and the U.S. Treasury Department have agreed on new anti-fraud measures aimed at preventing tens of billions of dollars in fraudulent government entitlement payments each year. Yeah, they've been doing some research. And I think I heard Trump was saying, he says, well, I call them into the office of the heads of the departments and I ask a lot of questions. And gee whiz, Musk shows up and wants an audit. And what Trump did was to say, look, you have 2 years to go through the government and find out where the waste is. And if you find out that there's waste, then find out where the money's going. And that's what he's doing. That's what he's charged to do. He can't arrest anybody or anything. He can take a look at the books. And right now, the Treasury doesn't want him looking at the books. I think somebody's cooking the books, if you know what I mean. People that did spreadsheets and profit and loss statements and stuff like that, they know what cooking the books is. For those of you that don't, it's creating funny money. So anyhow, that's what Musk is doing. He's not sworn into office or anything like that. He's basically a consultant that comes in and looks for irregularities. Okay. I was looking at X today several different times, and in the past, 3 weeks maybe. No, not 3 weeks, 3 days. When you don't get a lot of sleep, and you find all this interesting stuff, yeah, keeps you up at night. But anyhow, some of the things that came up, Woke Mind Media, whoever that is, they're all similar. But he says Elon Musk is doing a great job. And here's some of the examples of USAID spending. $520 million for ESG consultants in Africa. Money laundering. $45 million for DEI scholarships in Burma. That's your tax dollars. $47,000 for a trans opera in Colombia. That's your tax dollars. $32,000 for transgender comic book in Peru. And that'd be an interesting one for $32,000. Whatever happened to the cheap comic books we used to get? Used to go remember you go into the grocery store or the drugstore and they would have the comic books like Archie and all those. How about $3.25 million to fund BBC Media? Hey, that's in England. What are we doing funding them? That's your tax dollars. $20 million for a Sesame Street program in Iraq. Why not teach them English and let them go ahead and watch it in English? $56 million to boost tourism in Egypt and Tunisia. Omar's Rent-A-Camel. $27 million for George Soros prosecutor fund. Oh yeah, pay him to sue us? No. $40 million to build schools in Jordan. I could see that. $11 million to discourage trash burning in Vietnam. They can handle their own. We don't need to discourage that. $2.5 million for electric vehicles in Vietnam. Electric vehicles in Vietnam, where it is very humid and rains a lot, I don't think those vehicles would last very long. How about $3.7 billion for the Taliban? Got a problem with that one. $3.3 billion in Somalia. $2 million for sex change operations and LGBT activism in Guatemala. I wonder if sitting on a buzzsaw would be a sex change operation. Well, anyhow, $6 million fund for tourism in Egypt, hundreds of thousands of dollars for nonprofit linked to designated terrorist, I was going to say tourist organizations, millions to Eco Health Alliance involved in the research at the Wuhan lab. How about $100 billion in COVID payments stolen by foreign fraud rings? How about $2 million for Moroccan pottery classes? Oh boy, that's great. How about $300 million to build diesel power plants in Afghanistan? And they never used the money. Where did the $300 million go? It's your taxpayer dollars. $200 million to build a dam in Afghanistan, and it was never used. So where'd the damn money go? $250 million to build a road in Afghanistan. It was never used. $900 million for Syrian humanitarian aid that went to Al Qaeda. I question all of that, guys. That's your tax money being spent, and nobody's followed it over the years. And how much of it is a kickback? They could say, well, we'll give you 30 million and you give us 10 back. Just reach under the table and pass it. Or I'm walking down the street, put it in my back pocket. That makes me a little suspect there. Okay, you take a look at Obama appointed judge, and this judge blocks Trump administration officials to access sensitive Treasury records, and they say it's a cyber security risk. That was according to Bill Pan through Epic Times. And this is just what I've been finding. And it said federal judges temporarily barred the Department of Governmental Efficiency, or DOGE, run by Elon Musk, from accessing the personal financial data of millions of Americans kept in the Treasury Department. I don't think he wants to look at that. I think specifically he wants to look at where the money's being paid out. I would. Where's the money going? Does the Treasury Department have balanced books? Or are they cooking the books? That's my question. So anyhow, they're going to have a hearing on the matter, and that's scheduled for February 14th. And the Attorney General argued that Musk and Doge, which is not an official government department, should not have access to such highly sensitive financial data. And they claimed that the move violates federal law and presents massive cybersecurity and privacy risk. Well, cybersecurity, just have them print off the spreadsheet. That's all you have to do. Anyhow, you can go ahead and read that article. I mean, they're going to throw up roadblocks. And what's going to happen is then Trump is going to have to take this to probably the Supreme Court. And was it Pam Bondi, who's the new Attorney General, is going to have to take a look at it and then refer it to the courts. And it's going to delay time. And what they're trying to do, and it's an honest thing, if you had a business and you sold the business, the person coming into the business would want to look at the records to make sure that he is buying a decent business. Actually, they do that beforehand, and once they get in there, they can find all kinds of stuff. And hopefully the business was run according to Hoyle, according to the rules and regs. In government, the rules and regs kind of change depending on who's there. I don't think you're going to find that with the new administration. At least I hope not. So I hope they can follow the money and see where it goes and see who suddenly got rich off of it, like most of the politicians. Gee, they only make 180,000 or so a year, 200 and some thousand a year, and suddenly they're multi-millionaires. I got a question for that. There was one that they said, this was in Zero Hedge, and it was done by Peter Shear at the Academy Securities, and it said government data is garbage. Elon should focus on fixing that next. Well, yeah, I can understand that, but the problem of it is you have to find out where the money's going, and then once you find out how it's being spent and all the crazy stuff it's being spent for, and whether or not there's a kickback on that money going back to a politician, then you can go in and fix the data I mean, computers in the government agencies, they're not the newest things, okay? And they have their own accounting system. So there's a lot of digging to do, and he's got 2 years to do it. And so far, he's done a good job in some of the big nasties. Wow, we've got another thing on eggs. Have you taken a look at the price of eggs? You know, around here, there's a restaurant that charges 50 cents extra for an egg. Some restaurants aren't doing that, but a couple waffle places and so forth, they're doing that 50 cents for an egg. I can't believe it. Now, around my area, they had a big fire probably about 5 days ago, and it involved a chicken ranch, might as well call it that. It was an egg place where they hatch chicks and so forth. And 200,000 chicks died. And there were 30 firemen called in from different agencies around and so forth. I listened to it on my scanner a little bit, and it was started about 4:30 in the morning, 5 o'clock in the morning, and they fought that fire all day long. And it was a total disaster to one big, long hatchery. They have 4 hatcheries at the site, and 3 are still working. But can you imagine eggs per customer, and you get like 1 egg or 2 eggs, and that's it? And some are getting the egg surcharges in the article. You're best to buy your eggs from a local farmer. Okay, if anybody grows an egg or hatches eggs or produces eggs, what you want to do is probably go to the local people. I mean, I know a person very well that's about a mile and a half from me. If I need to get eggs, I can go to her, and she could probably bribe her chickens to give me a few eggs. Going into Wally World, better known as Walmart, they didn't have very many eggs there today. A lot of other places are going to be out of eggs. It depends on, where you can get them. In some places, they had, as far as eggs, you can buy wholesale from a wholesale company, pickled eggs. You can get all the pickled eggs you want, but to get eggs in the shell is difficult, and the prices are high. And in one place, they were talking about $9 a carton. Now that's a little high, isn't it? It used to be something like $2.45 or $2.50 for a dozen. And now everything is getting scarce because of bird flu. A lot of places have had to kill off a lot of chickens because of bird flu. I wonder if that bird flu is not natural, if you know what I mean, kind of man-made, kind of sprayed or done something with. It's something to watch. Buy your eggs locally, okay? That's my advice. Take it or leave it. The grocery store hack that helps you avoid ultra-processed foods. This is by Sharami Zai at the Epoch Times. Walk into a grocery store, and chances are most of what you see are ultra-processed foods, engineered for convenience, but often lacking real nutrition. I think if we look at the ways that the Amish shop or produce their own food, I think that's where we're going to have to start going because of the ultra processed stuff. Because you don't know what's in half of the stuff. For food to be ultra processed, it must have been chemically altered. And sometimes they'll have labels to GMO. You want non-GMO food. And you can get that usually from a farmer. Widely regarded as the gold standard for assessing food processing, this method, method, NOVA classification system, sorts foods into 4 categories based on how much they have been altered from their natural state. Unprocessed or minimally processed foods, whole foods that are fresh, dried, ground, pasteurized, or frozen with no added ingredients. Then there's processed culinary ingredients, which substance derived from whole foods used in cooking, such as salt, sugar, oils, and butter. Then there's the processed foods, and those foods are made by combining whole foods with culinary ingredients such as canned vegetables, fresh bread, cheese, and smoked meats. And these typically have added salt, sugar, or fat, but still retain most of their original food source or structure. Ultra processed foods, it's an industrial formulation with little to no whole food, containing additives like emulsifiers, stabilizers, artificial flavors, and preservatives. And examples include sugary cereals, packaged snacks, frozen meals, soda, and instant noodles. Ooh. So that's Nova's impact. I think I'll post that up on the website. Okay. And there's also a true food dashboard. You can click on that and basically do your research. Always wash your vegetables and fruits. You never know what's on them. Okay. And you got to be careful anymore what you eat, where you get your food. Who touched it last? You go to a grocery store and you go look at the vegetables, and if they're not already wrapped up in something and they're out there in the bulk and somebody's picked it with their grubby hands, you have to take care of it, don't you? There's another one here on cutting expenses in retirement, 5 grocery and dining costs to eliminate. And just briefly here, let's see if I can, no, I don't have that list. Shop and cook according to your meal. Buy meat rarely, deliberately, and creatively. Fall in love with beans. Beans, the musical fruit. The more you eat, the more you toot. That's true. Just make sure you have air freshener. And when you eat out, skip the extras. Just get the basics and not the extras. Okay. Just be careful when you go out and eat. Yeah, I admit it. I go out and eat several days a week. I hate to cook. And if I have to, I will. That's the way it goes. Hey, death and taxes, a new take on the old problem. Robert Mancuso at the Real Clear Markets. Death and taxes, they are often called the only 2 certainties in life. Well, in Ohio, we don't have a death tax. Some states do. Of course, if I was going to say, if you want to collect the death tax, hey, why don't you just go out in the cemetery and try to get it from me? Oh, let's see here. What debates over income taxes dominate the headlines. Companies or comparatively little attention is given to federal estate taxes. The tax generated $33.7 billion, just 0.8% of federal revenue, and 0.1% of GDP, gross domestic product. And yeah, the great wealth transfer, they take it in taxes. And that's what Trump is looking into, taxes. I was listening to somebody today, and they were talking about, as far as taxes, hey, wouldn't it be better just to go to a flat sales tax? I think overall there are something like 90 some taxes that people pay. Some pay all of them, some pay only part of them. But can you imagine paying 90 taxes? I mean, gee, you've got property tax, you've got sales tax, you've got gasoline tax. and more taxes. I mean, tax on tax on tax. And what do they do with the tax money? I mean, right now we're finding out that they're giving it to other countries and other people. Some are probably for good causes, and some probably aren't. And that's what they're looking into now. So I always say just wait till the dust settles, find out what has been found, and make corrections. And if anybody is guilty, then they suffer the consequences, okay? Court time, jail time, whatever. But a lot of people on Facebook were saying, oh, they're doing the right thing. They're doing the right thing, checking everything. And other people are saying, why, no, he can't do that, or they can't do that, or that shouldn't be done, and so forth. And I'm like, they're halting the spending for 90 days. They're taking a look at what is being done and has been done in the past. They want to see if there's any corruption going along so they can stop it, make corrections so it doesn't happen again. They always want to make sure that they're good stewards of the public's money. And when I used to work for the state, that was drilled into us. No wasteful spending. Use it wisely, and you had to come in within 1/10 of 1% of your budget. Now, that was with state. I don't know about the feds. Maybe they get all the money in, they can spend whatever they want. Even if it's a vending machine for coconuts in Alaska. I don't know. Well, anyhow, guys, keep your eyes peeled to the news and follow and see what Doge does. And see if there's anything there that you don't like as far as spending and where it goes. But follow the money, okay? And speaking of money, watch your money, watch how you spend. Save your money. Don't eat out as much. Sorry, restaurants, but that's the way it has to be sometimes. Live beneath your means, according to Amber Stork. Live frugally. And live like the Amish. That would be a good thing. Well, anyhow, guys, that's all I've got for Money and Change this week. And we'll get with you next week. And I hope that you have a good week because we need it anymore. Well, anyhow, guys, that's all I've got. Have a good week. Save your money. Live frugally. See ya.